And how you guys doing? This is very important in reference to politics and friendly countries that are friendly with me and ones that was friendly with my parents and people in America that are friendly and that are aware of the satellite abuses that the government has been doing to me and the damage on the teeth and face and the accusations of what these people have made up and the way these people slandered my parents' character. See, the things they said about my parents, these government people tried to make up lies on my parents as their way of covering up the murders of my parents. Then these people tried to profile and slander my character the way they accusated about my parents. When my parents was female hermaphrodites, do you understand hermaphrodites don't do drugs? Do you not understand that? They don't. My parents didn't use no drugs at all. I've never used any drugs either. My grandparents didn't use drugs. None of my relatives used drugs either. Do you not comprehend this information? This is, because in reference to, hermaphrodites, they're considered goddesses, not biblical gods of the Bible, of Jesus or God, or, not that kind of, some people might have other theories of things, but whether immaculate conception was based on hermaphrodites, of them impregnating themselves or whichever, but that's another point of information. But in reference to hermaphrodites, they're considered in mythology or as a particular point of Greek literature and Italian literature and Russian literature probably, and some other literature of friendly countries and acknowledgement of being goddesses, and as beauty. Well, I'm a female hermaphrodite, and this motherfucker has been tearing up my face and teeth for over 30 years plus. They've been burning me, hurting my leg, like the Osgood slaughter. They did that shit back in the 80s because I was really fast as a runner. And it is on record in the documents of the Olympics and other Italian Olympics or Italian sports and Russian sports or ballet and other sports, which has to be revealed. Now, in reference to me playing characters in the future and me being a different actor or being a different athlete, name-wise, is possible, in reference to the protection of my identity and protection of my genetics. And so, in reference to sports enthusiasts or people that like, my career in sports, that know a lot about it, I really appreciate, I really appreciate, athletes and coaches. I can't really say, this is hard. That have, been friends of mine in sports and other industries of, modeling or this minute. It's so difficult. But the satellite man's damaged my teeth. I don't do no drugs or anything. My cigarettes are asthma cigarettes, and if you didn't know, they're going to possibly be selling these cigarettes. They're FDA approved, aren't they? They should be, and it's documented. But the asthma cigarettes are possibly going to be sold nationwide and possibly internationally. But anyways, back to the other point. I really appreciate coaches and fans. I'm trying to say this fast without getting teary-eyed. And don't forget, my parents was beautiful athletes. My parents was great athletes. And in reference to fans of music and people, this is so hard to say without crying, for me it is. In reference to people that are friendly with me and accomplishments, so in reference to the point of fans and coaches and, teammates of sports or people that are friendly, I appreciate things. It's just hard to say without dropping a lot of tears, And you all know that. Have you ever seen me in sports? if I win, I cry like a baby or something. I don't know why. I just do. And I just get so emotional. But in reference to my parents, of course, my parents are beautiful, and I've always loved my parents and grandparents, and always going to, of course. But in reference to fans, coaches, sports, I'll probably play other names as an athlete in future sports for protection of my genetics and protection of my identity, and for hopefully to motivate other athletes to enjoy sports and participate or be fans of sports. Same thing with movies. If I play characters in movies, I don't always play the same character. It's kind of like if I play basketball or football or baseball or golf or tennis or something. I play that character name for a while, and then possibly after a period of time I switch to another name in sports. It's kind of like for protection purposes, which people would know, and some people know, but then other people watch it in the neutral zone and go, "Oh wow, that athlete's pretty good," or "Oh, this athlete's pretty good." It's to keep things going and to keep people motivated and interested in sports and great health and staying in good shape, and and even couch potatoes watching it and enjoying the inspiration of being in sports and enjoying the accomplishments, and hopefully more accomplishments in the future, and fans and other history of the entertainment industry, music, singing, dancing, and performing. And that's why if somebody wants to know how many Oscars I've won, if I won any Oscars or Grammys, or any trophies or sports or ballet or rhythmic gymnastics or track and field or swimming, it's the point of protection. And if you didn't know, a lot of athletes, I'm kind of like one of those athletes that if one of my athletes that I admire, if it's an athlete that I admire, I don't like them to retire, really. I just, you kind of want to keep them going when they can go, to keep going in sports. It's always important. The longevity is important, because people live life and people follow careers of athletes or entertainers, and, they want them, it's like that athlete might play another athlete or might play another actor in a movie, but you want them to keep going because your life keeps going, and you don't want your favorite celebrity to die off, or you don't want that shit to end. You don't want people to you don't want them to be gone from your history of longevity and their long history of longevity. You know what I mean? Longevity of continuing in sports. But I'm just saying this is a general perspective of basic points of people that are friends, people that are athletes, people that are entertainers that are friends of mine, and directors that know me, musical producers, or people that know me. Even though you may have tried to send things to me in the postal mail, I've not received nothing. They've stolen everything from the postal mail. But this is a general, I appreciate fans. I appreciate people on the basic acknowledgments of what things are, in reference to my rights of privacy, my rights of living life, and my life of having rights of freedom. So it's very important in reference to sports athletes and the history of my parents, and to prosecute the liars that made up crap or made up shit on my parents. That's their way of trying to manipulate, or these people trying to manipulate to steal from me and my accomplishments, are their ways of trying to steal from my family history. It still is a hostage situation in Indianapolis, Indiana. And the satellite man caused damage on the tooth that's in front of the tooth that got knocked out when they broke that part of my face with the satellite. And somebody was trying to say that the man physically grabbed me, he tasered me and grabbed me at one of the stores or grocery store or something. I don't know. But when they taser you, they knock you out. So and they do it from behind you or from a distance with it could be 10, 15, or 20 feet away from you, or 30 feet, without you even being able to stop it. But it says on those documents, in reference to physical abuse from government, those people must be ordered into court no matter what. No matter what. No matter what level of government they are. And so back to the point of history and friends and people that know me in music or entertainment or ballet or sports, friendly acknowledgments and, fans appreciated. You know, there's, there's certain types of history. They just messed my lip. Of people knowing that, I've been in sports. My father was in sports. My mother was in sports. My grandparents was in sports. So, it's a point of information of like, wow, try to keep going, try to strive to get faster or stronger or to do, more athletics in, staying healthy and shape without, and avoiding injuries, of course. But, just saying it in general for people that, fans are appreciated, and my rights of protection from assassins or government people trying to hurt me or foreigners trying to hurt me or whichever. Friendly acknowledgments, people.